The white sands of Carbis Bay, idyllic power setting for a meeting of the group of 7 described as the world's most advanced democracies. They're also leading the vaccine race to exit the pandemic, and while socially distanced still, they're face-to-face at least, and promising a combined effort to help the world emerge from crisis.
I actually think this is a meeting that genuinely needs to happen, because we need to make sure that we learn the lessons from the pandemic. We need to make sure that we don't repeat some of the errors that we doubtless made in the course of the last 18 months or so, and we need to make sure that we now allow our economies to recover.
The headline pledge on this opening day of the G7 is the donation of 1 billion vaccine doses to lower and middle-income countries over the next 12 months, with the US offering half of that amount. Campaigners say it's nowhere near enough and nowhere near fast enough.
I think 1 billion doses it's a good thing. I mean, you can't say it's a bad thing, but we need 11 billion doses, and we need to move away from the idea of charity, crumbs from the rich countries, and let developing countries like South Africa, India, produce their own vaccines. And the only way to do that is to share the vaccine recipe and break through the monopolies of these big pharma corporations. And Boris Johnson really doesn't want to do that. So he wants us all to talk about donations and the largesse of the richest nations, when in fact they're being hugely selfish and putting profit over people.
But now's the age of consumerism, fossil fuel addiction, single-use affliction.
Protesters are being kept well away from the summit venue, but for once the issues they raise are actually being discussed. There's pressure to waive patents so that poorer countries can develop vaccines for themselves. The US and France are in favour, with others yet to follow. Climate and inequality are among the world's crises that will top the agenda on Sunday. They call it the G7, but really there's no doubt who the 2 leading figures are here. Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister and host, keen to show his country off as a global power player post-Brexit. And Joe Biden, of course, the US President on his first foreign visit. Both men keen to be seen at the helm of efforts to rid the world of climate change and the pandemic. What emerges from this meeting? A post-Trump consensus, alliances reinvigorated, meaningful promises of action will determine whether this wealthy club of nations can make a real difference. Jonah, Al Jazeera, Cornwall.